Hey boys, it's Grandpa, and we found another book that I'd like to read so that you have a story hour today. And you can ask your mom and or dad if you want to hear a story from Grandpa. This is a book that I had when I was a kid, when I was your age. It's called Robert the Rose Horse. Robert the Rose Horse. Do you know what a rose is? A rose is a flower. And there's a picture of a rose right there on top of that little girl's head. And Robert, the rose horse, is sniffing at it. But you need to hear the story. So let's start. Robert, the rose horse. Robert was a happy little horse. He lived on a farm. He lived with his mother and father. And there is Robert. And there is his mother and father sitting on the front porch of their farmhouse. One day, Robert had a party. It was his birthday. All of his farm friends came to the party. And there is Robert on the front porch, and his farm friends are bringing him birthday presents. They had a big cake. "Happy birthday, Robert," said all of his friends. "Happy birthday to you." And there's Robert, and he is at his birthday party, and he's got this big smile on his face, and there's his mom with the cake, and there's his farm friends, and they're really happy to be at the party too. So there you go. Happy birthday to Robert. The cake was very pretty. It had big red roses all around it. Robert liked those red roses, and he put his nose right into one, and he took a big sniff. And then Robert got a funny feeling. His eyes began to itch. His nose began to itch. And there you can see Robert putting his nose right there in the rose. And then you can see his nose is feeling kind of funny. You know what it's like when you want to sneeze? Well, that's what Robert is experiencing. He's just about ready to sneeze. And his eyes began to itch, and his nose began to itch, and then Ker-chew! Robert sneezed. Oh my. Everything went flying. And what a sneeze. Up went his farm friends, up went the cake, up went the roses, and Robert fell down flat. Ker-chew. All right. Want to hear more? I bet you do. His mother called the doctor, and the doctor looked at Robert. "Say ah," said the doctor. "Ah," said Robert. "Ah-ha," said the doctor. "I know what made him sneeze." And there's the doctor making Robert say ah. And there's his mom making sure that Robert's doing okay. And you can see on the table that there's a vase of roses. So what's going to happen now? "I know I'm right," said the doctor. "You will see. Here, Robert, take a sniff." And Robert put his nose into the roses, and he took a little sniff. And again, his nose began to itch, and his eyes began to itch. And there's the doctor giving him roses, and there Robert is putting his nose right in the roses to take a sniff. And again, his nose began to itch, and his eyes began to itch. And what do you think happened? Ker-chew! Went Robert. Bang went the window. Bang went the door. Up went the roses. And the doctor fell down flat. There's the doctor. And he did fall down flat. Look at that. Yeah, big kerchoo coming right from Robert. Oh, the window even got broken. I was right, said the doctor. Roses are very bad for you. There are too many roses on this farm. You must get away from them. You must go to the city. So Robert had to go. Goodbye, he said to his mother and father. I'll be all right in the city. I will find work, and I will find a job. And there's the doctor saying he's got to go. And there's Robert waving goodbye to his mother and dad as he goes into the city. Robert did find a job in the city. He went to work for a milkman. He took the milkman in his wagon all around the city. It was a good job, and Robert was happy. Robert liked this kind of job. You don't see horses carrying milk wagons anymore. But when the time this was written, they went ahead and just made him a horse that pulled a milk wagon, and the milkman would deliver milk to the different houses. So there's Robert, and he liked his job. Then one day, a man walked right next to Robert. The man had a flower in his coat. The flower in his coat was a rose right under his nose. And Robert got that funny feeling again. His nose began to itch, and his eyes began to itch. And what do you think is going to happen? Well, let's turn the page and see what happens. Kerchoo! Crash went the wagon, splash went the milk, up went the milkman, and the man with the rose fell down flat. Go away, the milkman told Robert. You cannot work for me anymore. And there's the milkman telling Robert he can't work for him anymore. And you can see the wagon got all messed up, and there's the milk spilled, and there's the man with the rose, and he fell down flat. So Robert began to look for work again, but it was hard for a horse to find a job. He looked for many days, and one day he saw some horses. They had people on them. Say, I could do work like that, said Robert. I will ask for a job. And there's Robert. And there are the horses with people on them. And Robert's thinking, I could probably do that. I'm a good horse. I can do that. Robert went to the door. A man came out. You look like a good horse, the man told Robert. You can work for me, but you will have to work hard and you will have to do everything you are told. And there's the man talking to Robert, saying that he will have to do everything he's told. Well, that's because Robert has a job, so he should do what he's told. So, Robert went to work. He did just as he was told. And when he was told to go slow, he went slow. And when he was told to go fast, he went fast. Robert did everything he was told. I like this work, said Robert. I'm going to keep this job. And there's Robert doing different things, riding, trotting, and even helping a boy do a rope trick while he was riding on him. Yeah, doing everything he was told to do, and he liked it. It was probably fun. Then, one day he took a woman for a ride. Everything was going well, but all at once, look, said the woman, look at those pretty roses. I want those roses. Robert, take me over there at once. And there's the woman on the horse, and there's the man selling roses. What do you think might happen, huh? What do you think? Well, what could Robert do? He had to do as he was told. And he took the woman to the roses, and again, he got that funny feeling. His nose began to itch. His eyes began to itch. And what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Yeah. Ooh, big one. Big one. Kerchoo! Away went the wagon. Away went the flowers. Up went the woman, and the flower man fell down flat. Kerchoo! There's the flower man. He's down flat, too. Oh, my goodness. Everything's all messed up. So, guess what? Robert had to look for work again. He looked and looked. Fathers had work. Mothers had work. Everyone had some kind of work. But there are not many jobs for a horse. And there's Robert. He's looking, he's walking down the street. And look, all the different people have jobs. One has a lemonade stand. One person's washing windows. Some people are working down here on the street. There's all sorts of things. There's a woman up there hanging her clothes so they would dry. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Robert walked and walked. He looked and looked. Then at last, Robert saw something. And there's Robert just walking the streets of the city, looking and looking and looking and not finding anything. But it says, Robert saw something. He saw a job he could do. He could be a police horse. I will go in and ask for the job, he said. And there's Robert. And there's this sign that says, join now. Be a police horse. And there's the police station door, so he's going to go in. He's going to ask for a job. He's going to be a police horse. When Robert came out, he was a police horse. He was a good police horse. He did all kinds of police work. And there he is, coming out of the police station there as a policeman. He's helping the kiddies cross the street, making sure they get across. There he is helping a little boy get across the street. He was a good police horse. He really was. He enjoyed that job. One day, Robert worked on Bank Street. Some men came down the street. 3 men. One of them had a black bag, and they went into the bank. Robert didn't see them. So there's Robert. He's directing traffic, and there are the men wearing black going into the bank. What do you think they're going to do? Well, let's find out. Then all at once, someone called out, "Help! Police! Help!" And Robert looked all around and he saw 3 men. They were robbers. They were bank robbers. And there they're getting away, running out of the bank with all the money. And there's the bank man yelling, "Help! Police! Help!" And Robert now knows what's going on because he's looking at him. I know, this is exciting. This is really exciting. The robbers ran right at Robert. They ran right over him. And away they went. Oh, look at that. Look, they just knocked him right over on the street. And they just kept on running. But look at this. What's on top of her head? If you said a rose, you'd be right. Robert got up fast. He had to stop those robbers, but how? How could he do it? And then Robert saw a rose. It was not a big rose, but it was a rose. Robert began to think. He began to think fast. And there's Robert, and there's the bank robbers are getting away, and there's the little girl with a rose in her hair. Robert went over to that rose, and he put his nose right in that rose. He took a sniff, a big sniff, and he began to get that old funny feeling. His eyes began to itch. His nose began to itch. And there he is, smelling that rose. And what do you think's going to happen? It's going to be the biggest one yet. Robert sneezed. Ker-chew. Never was there a sneeze like it. Away went the cats. Away went the hats. Up went the dogs. Down came the birds. Bang went the guns. Up went the black bag. And the robbers fell down flat. Oh, man, look at all this stuff. A woman's flying with her umbrella. Dogs hanging on the pole for dear life. These people, oh, it's just like a big wind just hit them. His sneeze was that sneezy. Hooray for Robert, everyone yelled. The bankman was happy. The policemen were happy. Everyone was happy. Robert had stopped the robbers, and he sneezed the robbers flat. And there's the bank robbers going into the police car, going to take him to jail. There's the bank man, and he's very happy to get his bank money back. Now look at all the people. They're cheering Robert on because he's a hero. And then, the next day, there was a party. It was for Robert. His mother and father came, his farm friends came, the doctor came, and the policeman came too. Then one of them got up. Robert, I have something for you. And here's this big party with all the different policemen. They're all sitting around, and there's his farm friends there at the table. There's his mother and dad. And here's, because he's a hero, they're going to do something nice for him. Having a big party for him. Roses, yelled the doctor. Hold on to your hats. Here comes a sneeze. Robert will sneeze us all to Chicago. And they put this big thing of roses right around Robert's neck. And there's the doctor. He's scared there's going to be a big, big sneeze. Ah! Want to know what happens? So do I. Robert took a little sniff, but his nose did not itch. His eyes did not itch. Then Robert took a big, big sniff. He did not get that funny feeling. That big kerchew had done it. Robert at last was all sneezed out. And roses never made Robert sneeze again. And there he is, smelling a rose, and everyone's okay. And that is the end of Robert the Rose Horse. I hope you enjoyed the story. I enjoyed telling it. I always do. So, right now you have this for any time that your mom and dad says you can have a story from Grandpa. Now you've got another video. I love you. We love you. And we're looking forward when you come to our house in July. Bye-bye.